you that.
Well, thank you. Well, now I think at this point, I got to be honest, if I were in, I don't, at first I was upset about it, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I would rather be in an independent lane rather than be lumped in a group with a group of people, even though we might tend to agree on a lot of stuff. I'd rather not be in that group when it's all said and done.
Yes.
So,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I
So
also
I might
feel like
even,
that's a group that's not going to necessarily know how to carry on after this election season is officially over.
yeah, possibly.
I just don't see. I mean, what happens when a lot of these people start trying to justify why they're voting for Biden? You know, the Trump derangement syndrome can really only take you so far.
Right.
Being honest, right? Like,
right.
Okay, we get it. We don't like Trump all that much. Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, I actually don't feel that. I feel like Mitch McConnell is, like, for example, way worse than Donald Trump. I don't feel any strong emotions one way or the other. I think he's funny as shit sometimes when he roasts Joe Biden. That's about as far as it goes. I don't think he's altruistic. I don't think he's the worst thing, to happen to us since Henry Truman. I just feel like,
Yeah.
But a lot of these people they get a lot of their support based off of this irrational fear. I would say it's not even legitimate fear. There's a general fear that you should have for any self-serving politician, but then there's a level of irrational fear, which is what I think we see in Trump derangement syndrome, and it makes people support authoritarian initiatives, in my opinion.
Yeah,
authoritarian thought processes. So
that really frightens me. I mean, I'm really, really afraid. I will say that this virus has made me very, very afraid of Democrats. Really frightened. I never had felt
afraid of motherfuckers.
I just had never. I didn't like. I've been afraid to a degree of them, but I would say this has made me very afraid. Very, very afraid. I just really am afraid that if a Democrat, Joe Biden got into office in November or January, I guess, that we would be living under a police lockdown state. And that really, really, really scares me, really a lot.
So
more than most things.
What do you have to say about the dangers overall of this cancel culture that we have seen? That's even been really perpetuated by the progressive movement, because it isn't just I wish I could say it was just neoliberals.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Progressives participate.
Yeah, there's. I think it's definitely. It is really odd. In the very beginning, when I was growing up and throughout my 20s and 30s and stuff, I felt like a lot of it came from the right. There was a lot of right wingers, real religious right wingers, that if you believe, if you advocated for gay marriage or you believed in a woman's right to choose, they kind of had a cancel culture on you, right? They would say, well, you are an immoral person and I can no longer associate with you. You don't believe in God, you're immoral. They had this whole, you're immoral. And I spent my time, as I'm a young Gen Xer, but I'm in Gen X. And I spent my time believing, in the 90s, being inundated with, we all need to just get along, even if we don't agree. We can appreciate our differences. We can all, we don't need to all be the same. We just need to agree. We need to agree to disagree. We need to just get along. We need to live amongst one another. We need to leave each other alone. Live and let live. Right? Live and let live. And now it's no, and it's coming more from the left. They've kind of adopted the mentality of the right, which is you're immoral if you don't believe everything I think. If you don't believe everything I think, we were seeing it a lot for a while, which was if you don't believe everything I think, then you're a racist. It was always you're a racist.
Or
and it's
sexist.
Like, whoa, right. You're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a bigot. You're some kind of horrible thing. And you've just now crossed into an immoral type of person for having a differing viewpoint that maybe is a bit more nuanced. And then they make fun of that and say, oh, you got your nuanced viewpoint. I see. No, you're really just a racist. And that has just been so damaging, I think, to conversation, to understanding motivations, to understanding the things that are going on that are wrong, that are scary. If we don't have deeper understandings, if we just blanket say everybody's an ist of some kind, and that is why they're motivated to do X, Y, Z, wow, we're never going to solve any problems.
Well, cancel culture is in its core right-wing and dogmatic.
Right.
Right?
It is. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. And it's, people forget, like, the trying to basically, you won't adhere to this general authority on this particular issue and the accepted status quo belief by this particular. So therefore, you must be an enemy on every other when it comes to every other issue.
Right.
That's what that must mean. And if you are an enemy with every other issue, it must mean absolutely that you couldn't possibly be correct about this one issue.
Yeah.
And we saw that a lot with life is.
And we saw this with Bernie recently with Joe Rogan, right? You know, Joe says, I'm voting for Bernie. And Bernie says, oh, that's cool. So, you know, he kind of shows that. And people just freaked out about that. They could not believe. They
dug up fucking clips from 8 years ago.
Yeah. And they were like, that guy's a racist. He's some kind of ist, right? So Joe's an ist.
Every ist.
He's every ist. And because he's an ist, you know, then he suddenly, and that's, you know, that's, I think for me, when I especially saw that, I think that for me, that moment of Joe getting just kind of raked over the coals with the Bernie thing, bad. That is for me where I even had my own personal turning point where I stopped. It really helped me stop feeling bad about being kind of alienated from the others, right? And not being invited onto their shows and not, you know, being kind of part of the cool kids club that's that moment where I said, oh, well, you know what? I'd rather be Joe. Gotta be honest with you. I'd rather be Joe Rogan, where I have
Joe
free
has the
thoughts.
best time of his life all the time.
Well, and just being curious and exploring ideas and you know, and having conversations with people, and
he's unrestricted in his thought process and content just because he doesn't believe in cancel culture. And look what his
right. And his audience that he's built is also an audience that doesn't believe in that. And so they're not going to fry him for one bad move, which is what other audiences, unfortunately, people that, you know, if you tend to fall into that camp, that it's very dangerous for you as a person who speaks your mind, because the minute you speak the wrong idea is the minute they all say, that's it, I'm done with you, unsub.
By the way, not even that you're wrong.
Right.
It isn't even that you're wrong. It's just that you spoke something that they disagree with, which means that the only reason they were watching to begin with was because you know, even if it's by happenstance, you were confirming all of their biases prior to that moment. And so the moment that you disagree with them, and it forces them to question their own truisms, it makes people feel uncomfortable. We inherently love to have our biases confirmed. It's their entire industries dedicated to playing off of that fact, marketing and everything like that. Hey, do you love you know, Kevin Durant, right? Well, yeah, I love Kevin Durant. Well, you like Gatorade too? Well, yeah, I love Gatorade. Did you know Kevin Durant also loves Gatorade and therefore you should go buy some? Well, damn, now that I think about it, that's a really, really good reason. And now why are you drinking Powerade? Or why can't you drink Powerade? Oh, no, I can't do that, bro. Doesn't Powerade taste better? No. Kevin Durant drinks Gatorade. Therefore, I drink Gatorade. You just wouldn't get it because you're not woke enough.
Right.
You know? So well, if you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.